Hey guys, Rhonda Gessner here, coming to you live on a beautiful Tuesday afternoon. We just got back from about a 5-mile walk and it is absolutely gorgeous out today. It's sunny and warm, so I hope you guys get a chance to be outside a little bit today and enjoy the awesome weather. If you are joining me live, make sure that you say hello. Let me know where you're watching from, and also let me know if you have any questions. Today I'm going to be talking about the ABCs of CBD. And this is a PowerPoint that I use as an introduction to CBD oil, just to help people understand how it works. I see Kathy join me. Hi, Kathy, from beautiful wine country in Oregon. So like I said, today we are going to talk about the ABCs of CBD. If you're watching the replay, also make sure you write replay and where you're watching from, and feel free to leave any questions. I'll check back through the comments, or you can just send me a private message on Facebook. So I want to make sure you can see my slides. We're going to start with making sure that there is no confusion between hemp and marijuana. Oh, there came my dear friend Grace. Hi, Grace. Grace is one of our affiliates all the way from Abuja, Nigeria. How cool is that? 5,000 miles away, and we can be on here chatting. So thank you, Grace, for joining me. I'm just getting started here on the ABCs of CBD. I like to cover this because there still is a lot of stigma out there about hemp and marijuana. A lot of people think it's the same, and to be honest, I did too. For a long time, I thought it was the same thing. But it is not. As you can see from the slide, both hemp and marijuana are part of the cannabis family, but they're two entirely different plants. Hemp is very, very low, very minimal amount of THC, about 0.3%, where marijuana can be as high as 20% THC. And THC is what makes people high. So, you know, years ago when they thought it was the same thing, they, just ended up making them both illegal. But they are two entirely different plants, and it's very similar to lemons and limes. They are both part of the citrus fruit family, but they're two different fruits. And again, hemp has the minimal 0.3% THC, but it is loaded with cannabinoids. And that is what we're going to talk about as we go along today. Cannabinoids are very, very healing for our body, and I'll explain how that works. Hi, Mary. I see Mary joined from Lancaster, and Esther joined us from Abuja. Hey guys, thanks for joining me today on my live talking about the ABCs of CBD. The next slide I like to include because I just think this slide is so cool. I really wish I knew what year this picture was taken. Obviously, it's very old since it's black and white, but this is obviously a very old drugstore, but look what is right on the front of the building. That is a hemp leaf. And that's because hemp is so healing, and it was used for so many different health problems many years ago. So I like to just include that. And my next slide is some very old cannabis bottles. And look what this says. Let me just scroll up a little bit here so you can see more of the slide. From 1850 to 1936, cannabis was used as the primary medicine for more than 100 separate illnesses or diseases here in the United States. So that's a long time. That's actually almost 100 years that cannabis was the primary medicine for over 100 different illnesses. So, I mean, it almost didn't matter what you had. Cannabis was the medicine of choice. And I'm sure that's why the hemp leaf is on the front of that drugstore that we saw in the last slide. But what happened then in 1937, hemp and marijuana were both made illegal here in the United States. I know we have people on here from Nigeria, and I would love to know the history of hemp in Nigeria, but I don't know that yet. So maybe somebody can share that with me, or I will have to research it myself. But here in the US in 1937, hemp was made illegal along with marijuana. And as you saw in like the very first slide, there is not enough THC in the hemp plant to cause you to get high. You could drink an entire bottle of our CBD oil and you are not going to get high. So when you think about that, it never should have been made illegal in the first place. There's a couple different theories about why that happened. The one that makes the most sense to me is there is a very strong theory that the pharmaceutical industry was behind making hemp illegal. That makes the most sense to me because the pharmaceutical industry knew if we had access to the hemp plant, we're not going to need the pharmaceuticals, or at least not near as much. And they can't patent a plant. So they convinced the right people, I guess, that they were the same thing, hemp and marijuana. They both need to be made illegal. And that's what happened in 1937. And we're going to get to a slide here, and you're going to see that thankfully that is not the case anymore. But that's what happened. That's why this slide says it goes up to 1936, because the very next year is when hemp and marijuana were both made illegal. And look at this. Prior to hemp being made illegal, hemp was the #1 crop that was fed to our livestock. So what this is a picture of cows grazing on hemp. So, I mean, they weren't getting corn and soybean and all this other stuff that they've been fed over the last 80 plus years. Prior to 1937, they were grazing on hemp, which means we were getting all those cannabinoids when we were eating the meat and drinking the milk. So we had all those cannabinoids in our diet until they went and made it illegal. For those of you that live around here, you know we have a school district here in our area that's called Hemp Field. And I mean, that's where that name came from. So that's pretty cool. My next slide tells us when finally hemp was made legal again. December 20th of 2018, President Trump signed the Farm Bill of 2018. And finally, what that did was separated hemp and marijuana. Marijuana is still a controlled substance, but now hemp is an agricultural commodity, and it is legal in every state. So I'm sure you guys are seeing this in the news. You're seeing it all over the place. I just saw it in the last couple of days. Somebody posted a picture on Facebook of a local field here in Lancaster County where they're growing hemp. Actually, one of our affiliates, they are farmers and they're growing hemp. So you are going to see hemp popping up everywhere. And this is phenomenal news. This was a great day in history when this farm bill was signed. Because not only is it so important for those of us that want to have access to hemp CBD oil, but this is also huge for farmers, for the environment. I don't know if you know this, but every single thing that is made from plastic can be made from hemp. And hemp is 100% biodegradable. So this is amazing news for our environment. You're going to start to see clothing stores popping up with clothes made from hemp. Over 25,000 different products can be made from hemp. So this is really good news for a lot of different industries. But personally, I'm just so thankful that now we have access to CBD oil, which does come from the hemp plant. So you can imagine now that hemp is legal and we have access to it to make CBD oil, now the issue becomes, how do you find a high quality CBD oil? Because what's happening is everybody and their brother is jumping on the CBD bandwagon. They see that it is an exploding industry. The word is getting out about how healing CBD oil is. So everybody and their brother has decided, oh, we need to make CBD oil and cash in on this mega trend that's happening right now. So that's not so good for the consumer. So you need to be educated, and that is exactly why I'm here, coming to you live today on a Tuesday afternoon, sharing this information. I have been preaching, anybody that knows me, I have been preaching about God's pharmacy for 41 years, since I was 20 years old. And many times people look at you like you're, some kind of a nut, and they call you a health food nut and whatever else. But I've always been a firm believer that going a natural route, if at all possible, is the best way to go. Now, I know that there are times that that's not going to be the answer, and I am thankful for good doctors and good medications when we need them. If you're in an accident or you need a surgery to save your life or whatever, I'm thankful for good doctors and good pharmaceutical drugs when we need them. But I don't believe it's the answer for every little thing that happens to us. The problem with that, having a pill for every ill, is they all come with side effects. And so many times, honestly, if you read the side effects of medications, so many times they're worse than what you were going to take it for in the first place. So you really have to be your own advocate, educate yourself, and, make a decision. Does the benefit outweigh the risk? The good news with plant medicine, there are no nasty side effects. So how do you know what is a good CBD oil? If you look at this slide, you'll see, look how different they look in the droppers. You have our HempWorks CBD oil, which is a beautiful, pretty shade of green, just like the hemp plant. The one beside it, I have no idea what is in that one, but it's kind of clear, milky looking. I don't really know what is in the other ones. What I do know is you need to know how to read the label. And what I'm showing you now, I don't know if you can actually see the label, or is my face right in front of it? On my screen, it looks like my head is blocking. Yeah, it is blocking part of the ingredients. This is our 750 milligram peppermint, and I can read to you what the ingredient says. It is pressed hemp seed oil. That is our carrier oil, and you always have to have a carrier oil because when they extract all the cannabinoids out of the hemp plant, it's a very thick substance. So we use hemp seed oil. Doesn't that make sense? We're not going outside the hemp plant to get an oil. Hemp has its own oil that can very easily be made from the seeds. The second ingredient is CBD-rich whole hemp extract. So they're just extracting all those cannabinoids out of the hemp plant, adding the hemp seed oil, and in this case, they also added peppermint because it is flavored. Now, our natural only has 2 ingredients. And then we also have cinnamon, which again is going to have 3 ingredients. So when you're looking at the label of CBD oil, you should see 2 or 3 ingredients. If you see more than that, I would put the bottle back on the shelf, because anything more than that are fillers. Most CBD oils have anywhere from 5 to 9 ingredients, and you're going to see things like palm oil, MCT oil, grapeseed oil, glycerin. I've seen water, I've seen honey, I've seen coconut oil, just all kinds of things that aren't necessarily all bad ingredients, but they don't belong in a high quality, pure CBD oil. So what I enjoy doing and what our affiliates are doing, our job, we're just getting the message out. We're messengers. We're educating people so that they know about hemp, they know about CBD oil, and they know how to read a label so that they don't waste their money. Because right now there are a ton of different brands out on the market. I'm confident over the next couple of years, most of them are going to fall by the wayside because they don't work. They have too many fillers in them. And there will be just a handful of high quality CBD oils left after we get through this initial growth that's happening in the industry right now. Let me just take a quick second here and check our comments. Oh, yay, Faith joined us. Hi, Faith. Faith is all the way from Abuja. So exciting to have Grace, Esther, and Faith on here from Abuja. Pam Zimmerman is joining from right here where we live. She's just a few minutes down the road. Heather, hey, Heather is joining us. And Trudy's joining from Belize. Very cool. And Ron says, I don't know if you'll be able to see this comment. Big Pharma gives us a pill for every ill. God's pharmacy is natural and should be our first choice. Very cool. Didn't know if you'd be able to see that with my slides, but I think you could. Okay, did I miss anybody? I don't think so. Okay, don't forget, if you have any questions, go ahead and write them in the comments. And you can feel free to, would love to have you share this live if you feel like this information would be beneficial for your Facebook friends. My next slide here is another way that you can look for a high quality CBD oil. Do not purchase CBD oil without the hemp seal. You want to look for that round seal that you see right there in the middle of the slide. That comes from the U.S. Hemp Authority. Right now, I believe there's only around 20 companies out of thousands that have been awarded the hemp seal. So that's another way that you can tell whether you are looking at a higher grade or higher quality of CBD oil. So how does this one thing do so much? The answer is simple. Hold on here, let me scroll up a little bit so you can see the whole slide, hopefully. How does this one thing do so much? The answer is simple. CBD doesn't do the work. CBD signals the body to do the work. When we feed our cannabinoid receptors, our endocannabinoid system begins to work properly, and the body begins to self-regulate and self-correct. I know for me, when we were first introduced to CBD, and I am so thankful that we kept an open mind. Ron was experiencing some health issues at the time. And it's so hard to talk about this because we are not allowed to use disease names. And that's because this is not a medication. It is a dietary supplement. So I can't use any disease names, but he had severe discomfort in his feet. And most of you, I think, know that Ron had a liver transplant 2 years ago. And that health issue, this discomfort in his feet, was a side effect of the anti-rejection medication that he has to take. But it was very, very frustrating and discouraging to him. You know what, now he has a new liver, which is working great, but he has this whole new health issue that's now giving him trouble walking. And so, of course, we went to the specialist and they prescribed a medication for him that didn't help the discomfort, but caused another health problem, which was a side effect. So he was at a point he was very discouraged when somebody reached out to us about CBD oil. And the first thing she said to us was, we have a private testimonial group here on Facebook. Is it okay if I add you to the group and you can do your own research? Well, I thought, well, that's a no-brainer, of course. And today that group has grown to over 125,000 people. It's a private group on Facebook. And so if you are not a part of that group, you definitely want to reach out to whoever's sharing this with you, or reach out to Ron or I and just say, please add me to the testimonial group. You can go in that group, find the search, and you can search for any health issue. So that's what I did. And I searched the name of Ron's problem that he was having. And I started reading testimonies and was completely blown away. So many of the testimonies in that group end with the same sentence: I feel like I got my life back. And I was like, oh my goodness. So then I started researching some other health issues of people in my family to see if it might help them. And, you know, it was so exciting because, like I said, I've been preaching about God's pharmacy for 41 years. Here we are. I knew nothing about hemp. I had no idea how healing this plant is. So, but it was a little bit confusing to me. How could one plant help with all these different health issues? I couldn't quite wrap my brain around that. So my next couple of slides are going to answer that question. They discovered in the early 90s that our body has what is called an endocannabinoid system. And as you can see on my slide, look at this, our body has CB1 and CB2 receptors all throughout our body. The CB1 are the ones in the green, and CB2 are in the orange color. So all through our body, we have these receptors. This is all part of the endocannabinoid system. Now, keep in mind, we haven't had cannabinoids because we've had no access to the hemp plant for well over 80 years. All those years that it was illegal, from 1937 all the way up until December of last year. So we weren't getting the cannabinoids in the meat or the milk. So we had nothing in our body to make these receptors work and to activate them. Because the whole purpose of these receptors is to activate the endocannabinoid system, which then sends signals. All these receptors send signals up to your brain and tell your brain what is going wrong. If there's something going on in your body that needs fixed, You want these receptors to be working so that the message gets to your brain, and then your body can, because of this endocannabinoid system, can begin to self-correct. When you think about that, how incredible is it that our Creator designed us with a system designed to self-correct? I mean, you've probably heard the saying before that our body was designed to heal itself. Well, it's because of this endocannabinoid system. It begins to self-regulate and self-correct. I made this slide, so I know it's not the most professional looking thing, but I heard another affiliate use the fuse box as an example of how, hold on here, I need to turn off that, I forgot. Forgot I had my WhatsApp open. I heard another affiliate use the fuse box as an analogy to the endocannabinoid system. So everybody knows what the fuse box looks like in your house. And you know that as long as all those switches are on, then everything throughout your whole house is working. You're going to have power in your kitchen, in the bedroom, in the bathroom, all the light switches. I mean, everything's working if all those switches are on. As soon as one flips off, you're not going to have power somewhere. You know, you might go to use, let's say you go to use the stove. You're ready to cook dinner and the stove doesn't come on. Well, what's the first thing you do? You go to the fuse box and see, did something happen here that I don't have power in the kitchen? Well, the endocannabinoid system is just like the fuse box for your body. So picture an internal fuse box with 10 switches, one for each system in our body. We have an immune system, nervous system, respiratory, endocrine, circulatory, digestive, exocrine, musculoskeletal, renal, and reproductive. So you have 10 switches on your endocannabinoid system. If you want all systems working at 100%, you want every switch on. And what is activating those switches is cannabinoids from the hemp plant. So now it should all start to make sense why this one product is helping people with so many different health issues. It's all about your body being designed to self-correct, but those receptors need to be working in order to get the signal to your brain so that the body knows what to begin to fix. So I just find this very fascinating and very exciting that this is how we are designed, and that something as simple as taking CBD oil drops, if you're brand new to CBD oil, it comes with a dropper, and you just put the drops under your tongue. Under your tongue, you have a lot of capillaries. And what happens then is the oil gets directly into your bloodstream, and you're getting 98% absorption. You're totally bypassing your stomach and your gastrointestinal tract. When you take pills or capsules, you get less than 50% absorption. So 98% absorption is huge. That's going right into your bloodstream and beginning to activate those receptors. I have two more slides. Before I go to them, I see a question here from Cynthia. How much should I begin taking and how often? That is an excellent question. And we have a little chart with serving suggestions. So we make sure that oh, Ron already took care of it. I'm telling you, this man is on the ball. Look at my sidekick over here. I don't know what I would do without him. One question and he already answered it before I even saw it. I am telling you what. But anyway, in case anybody else has that question, we have a serving suggestion chart. And so you want to follow that. Very simple. The serving suggestion is to take 5 drops under your tongue twice a day. And for the first week, and then the second week, you can begin to increase if you need to. Some people don't need to go beyond the 5 drops twice a day. What you want to remember is this is plant medicine. It's not going to hurt you, but the terminology we use is you have to find your sweet spot. And that is where the right amount for you, where you're getting the results that you're looking for. The only thing I ever heard about taking too much CBD oil is it could make you a little sleepy. So, if all of your symptoms go away, you're not feeling sleepy, you have probably found your sweet spot. If you're feeling sleepy, you might need to back down a little bit. I don't often hear that from people. I think you would have to take quite a bit in order to feel sleepy, but you may have to play around with the amount a little bit, and don't be afraid to do that. And I didn't mention this. Oh, yeah, it is on my last slide. Okay, we have 2 more slides. This one is about the CBD industry. Last year, the CBD industry did $570 million, of which our company did $100 million. So we did about 1/6 of the entire industry, and there are thousands of CBD companies, but that's because our product works. And the word is getting out. That's why we have 125,000 people in the testimonial group. All of our products also have a 60-day money-back guarantee. But I want to encourage you guys in closing here, if you have ever had the thought that, boy, I wish I could work from home or work from my laptop, I really want to encourage you to take a very serious look at our business. I just told you 570 million this year, and according to Forbes, we're going to be at 22 billion in the next 3 years. Well, if you talk to anybody that is very successful in business, they will tell you you have to join an industry before it explodes. And that is where we are right now. In the next 3 years, the industry is going from 570 million to 22 billion. And the way that you can just, take a free tour of our business and see if this might be something you would enjoy doing. Basically, what we do is educate people. We share information with them like this to educate them about CBD. We add them to the testimonial group. It's very simple. We let them do their own research in there. And then if they want to try the product, we give them our website. The company, our corporate office, takes care of everything else. They take care of shipping, customer service, 60-day money-back guarantee. Everything else is handled by the company. Oh, I didn't even mention you can become an affiliate for $20, which is crazy. So it's not a huge investment. It's not like opening a franchise where you're going to get into hundreds of thousands of dollars. For $20, you can become an affiliate on our team. We have the best training in the industry, that's for sure. We actually have a training tonight at 9 p.m. with one of the top 3 affiliates in the entire company is going to spend about 45 minutes with us this evening, allowing us to interview her. So if you want to join, today would be a great day, and you can jump on our training tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. But I want to encourage you, get back to the person that shared this information with you, ask them for their website so you can take that free tour and just see if this is a fit for you or not. And as you see here on the slide, we do have more than CBD oil. The purpose of this today was just to kind of try to clear up and educate you on hemp and CBD. We also have CBD for pets. We have pet treats. We have coffee infused with CBD. We have keto creamers. We have skincare products infused with CBD, relief cream. Yeah, we have, and more products are coming. We have a convention coming up in a couple weeks, and more products will be introduced. So, thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Let me just glance over here. I see that my good friend Diane joined us all the way from the state of Washington. This is such a great product. We love using it and sharing it with everyone. Well, that's for sure. What an awesome job we have. That's what we do. Share this information and share the products with other people. And you can do that like you heard me saying earlier. People on here from Abuja, Nigeria. You can build a global business from your laptop. That's what we're doing. See my shirt? I'm building my empire. All right, guys, I don't want to keep you any longer. Thank you so much again for your time today. And I will post when I'm doing my next live. And I will see you then. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.